the core of downtown. And since becoming mayor, John Gray has done an effective job in cleaning up the drug problem. And if elected mayor, what would you do to further clean up the drug problem in downtown?
There has been a long haul in the downtown to make it change, and I believe you're right that there has been some improvement in the downtown. Certainly hasn't released its opinion that people have of it in terms of being a place that's safe. I think that has changed a lot, though. What would I do differently? There are definitely places that are needed for prostitutes and others to go to that they don't have now. Right now we have hostels in the city that are available for people that are being battered, but not for somebody that wants to have a drug program or get fixed up in a drug program. There is very little accessible in that area. And we simply have to be able to take those kind of people and be able to provide services for them. There's so little ability for people to go in for drug treatment. And I'm certainly not talking about a methadone treatment where you're going in and not having any kind of programming, where you're not having any kind of counseling, and it's just for opiate addiction, and all you're doing is extending the addiction to something that's probably worse to get off than the actual opiate. It needs to be a controlled, a helpful situation, not just something where you're dishing out a program and the company's making money.
Thank you. Oshawa is not immune to drug and alcohol problems like many communities. And it's how we care for some of these people and help get them the treatments that they need. Sometimes with government, we feel good if we put a meal in someone's stomach and just a roof over their head, but we don't treat the real problem, those addictions. And I think that's where we're in a church right now. That's where the faith-based community really comes to the floor to help us in that regard. Because without spiritual guidance, people will still continue to turn to the drugs and alcohol. And so it would seem to me that it's a strong partnership. And I've encouraged, whenever I attend a church, I've encouraged the ministers to get the congregation involved, to help those that need our help. And we'll all be better off as a society. But you know, I don't know why some people, they take their stresses in the form of these releases, and it's not healthy, and it means that they're not having those productive lives that they should be entitled to. And I think if we continue to administer them and give them the faith-based counseling, we can help them.
One of the things that I did was made arrangements shortly after I got elected to spend a day shift with a police officer. And then I spent a night shift with a police officer, and I spent those shifts, the day shift in Oshawa, the night shift through the entire Durham region. And I will encourage all the new members of council to take that opportunity, and I will arrange it. It's hard to talk about something until you've been out at 7 o'clock in the morning and actually seen what's going on in the streets or what's going on in your community at 1:30 in the morning. And we have areas in the city, and it's not just downtown that has problems. And as a council, we have to be more proactive, than reactive, and recognize that there are these issues in town. But it's going to take a group of people that all know the exact same problem. You know, as a region, we have health and social service issues that we've never had as Oshawa. In my first term, and this is my first term on council, I've never seen a meeting take place where the mayor or members of council actually talk to our local councillors about health and social service issues. It just doesn't happen. We need to work together collectively as a group to deliver the services that you need. And you got to watch, learn, and listen.
I guess I have a unique perspective because I live downtown and I work downtown. The people I talk to every day, some of them are on heroin, some of them are on crack, they've lost their jobs, they've lost their homes, kids nothing better to do. And these are people. Let's start off with the schools. Let's reach out to the kids who are troubled youths. Start mentorships. Let's start getting into them, getting into their head, giving them programs that they're going to start feeling better about themselves. Start working with people on the edge of losing their jobs and say, we're here to help. Yes, the downtown has improved, but I guarantee you, it's not that they've come off drugs, they just moved into another neighborhood. To help all of Oshawa, we have to start working with people, and they are people. I've seen crack addicts come off and have great families now, just because other people gave them respect. Let's start giving them respect. Let's start working with the youth, the unemployed, getting them the help they need. And part of that is the mayor and all the council walking around and talking to the drug addicts, find out who they are, say, hey, we may be able to find these programs for you. If we're involved, the community is involved, and we all get involved. Thank you very much.
Thank you. There's no doubt denying at all that we have a drug and sex problem downtown. And I'm afraid that's not going to get any better when we have 5,500 UOIT students down there. I was a Queen's student, and I know I partied with the best of them. And I know that we're going to have those parties downtown. All of those, if we have problems around the North Campus, we're going to have those downtown now. And that's going to keep people like you with your dollars away from downtown to patronize the better businesses. The businesses that will be there will be attracted by the kinds of people that we have here. Now, I would be one that would want to have increased police patrols, friendly police patrols that get to know the people and could chat with them. I think that would be worthwhile, so that, you know, they get to really know them. We need to do something about our downtown, and I think the answer that City Hall has come up with is not the right answer. You know, the Barracudas are going to come from far and wide to mingle with our student population. We've had that before when we had student dances downtown, team dances, and they ended up with fights every night with extra police patrols and so on to look at.
With regards to this, certainly when the United States does a lot more social policy research. And if you look at the research that's being done with regards to programs, they're all faith-based. About 80% of the faith-based programs are successful. The percentages in the teens or less for the other programs. Part of this is, you know, there's no quick fix. You have to rebuild a life, and you have to reach in yourself and reach up to a higher power to overcome addiction. So we have to connect with the stakeholders in this community if we're going to lift these folks out. But once you become an addicted person, it's much tougher. So where can we start? Where can the city make a difference? It's to draw a circle of hope around all the at-risk neighborhoods or teens or kids that we can still reach and that we can still affect change. And I think that's imperative. And am I glad we invested in recreational infrastructure? You bet. We've invested in the South Oshawa Community Center, we've invested in Conant, we've invested in Legends, and we've invested in Donovan. We have to make those centers work, and we have to connect the people, because every single one of us in this room and in this community is responsible for each and every youth, and we want to make sure they live incredible lives and they have all opportunity. But that's not going to happen after the fact. We have to get out ahead. Thank you.